Welcome back to the Bright Show podcast boxing. My name is Bright and this is my reaction to Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson face-off. Now we're going to do a live watch along for this fight, so it is only right that we find out how both fighters are preparing for this fight mentally. Let's get straight into it.
You two were stablemates for a lot of years. Did this idea of you two fighting ever come up?
Honestly, I've been thinking about fighting him since the amateurs. I always admired the type of boxer he was with the skill set to shine. He had like a real moments in the amateurs and the pros where he had shine bright. And
you could see from Shakur Stevenson's side, there's a lot of respect, right? He has for Teofimo Lopez. So, he's not too proud to show that, and it's clear, right, that he's got pride. So it'll be interesting to see what Teofimo Lopez says about Shakur Stevenson.
I wanted to see myself against that, so yeah, I've been had that on my brain.
I thought he was on his path, I was on my path, but then I thought like years down the line, not this soon, but years down the line, as long as everybody's still doing their part, that we'll meet. But time has changed that course, and now we're facing each other now.
Why was this the right?
Teofimo Lopez has always been sort of a funny character. Like, if he's got respect for someone, he's going to show it, but he shows it in a very strange way. And you could see the difference between what Shakur Stevenson was saying and what Teofimo Lopez was saying. I think after the fight, Teofimo Lopez would probably be more forthcoming with his credit and respect to Shakur. But right now, I think he's holding back a little bit.
Right fight for you, Teo?
The best fighting the best. And I think that since, after a tremendous performance by Crawford against Canelo, you see that type of fight and the magnitude it brings, you want to emulate it.
You could have fought anybody as well. 135, look for unification. For you, why was it the right one?
If you look in and around my weight class, I can't get the other big fighters to get in the ring, so you got to go to somebody who's willing to do it, and he was willing to do it, so now we're here.
What do you think of Shakur, his style?
Great fighter.
There you
fighter.
go.
He knows how to fight. He knows how to box inside, outside. He knows how to use his lateral movement. So I think that all those things I need in order to enhance my skill.
Yeah, he's right there. Shakur Stevenson is a tremendous fighter, right? He's very good at, boxing on the front foot and on the back foot. Now, people will talk about the fact that he hasn't got the power to knock people out. But one thing that he's really good at is a very, very good boxer. So it is, something for Teofimo Lopez to work out, to understand how he can overcome the skill set that Shakur Stevenson will bring, to the ring. So, it's interesting. It's interesting the way he's saying that.
My skill sets, and also to challenge myself, because we can't say we are the best if we don't see it or look for it or even go out there and test it.
You've been critical of him, though, over recent months. Like you said he had the power of a 6-year-old at one point on social media. You did, yeah. You had a lot of tweets over that.
That is funny. That is funny because, Shakur Stevenson has always received the idea or the criticism that he doesn't have power. And of course, he doesn't get a lot of knockouts, right? But what he has is incredible boxing brain. And we know Teofimo Lopez is powerful. We know he gets a lot of knockouts. We know that he can knock anyone out, at any point in a fight. So it's interesting that he's describing his power as, him being able to punch like a 5 or 6 year old. That's funny there. But, trash talking. He doesn't remember it, but he probably said it.
I remember. Dang. I don't even know what I'd be doing.
But you seem to believe that 140 may be a bridge too far for him, a step too far for him.
Shakur was honestly the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just gotta wait and see. You know what I mean? And
I think Teofimo Lopez is definitely studying Shakur Stevenson, right? I think he has followed his career, and props to both fighters for wanting to get into the ring and have this fight, because we need to see fights like this, right? This is what makes boxing boxing, and the best need to fight the best. And I think Teofimo Lopez realized what Shakur Stevenson has done in his career, and he respects that, and that's really good to see.
And for him to even come up to do that, I think he deserves his flowers for everyone else out there. Guys trying to go more down into the ranks of top 5, top 3, and eventually top 1 for pound.
But that ain't what you said, bro.
What'd I say?
I gotta remind you. You said basically I'm good at the lower weight classes. The only way that I'm going to be good is I fight at 126 pounds against guys like Inoue. But once I move up, you're going to, I can't compete at this level at that weight class. So that's what you said.
When did I say this?
I want to say
you could see that Teofimo Lopez has been talking a lot of crap about Shakur Stevenson, and he probably don't remember a lot of the things that he says, right? He probably don't remember some of the things that he said, but someone like Shakur Stevenson will remember, will keep that in his mind, because for Teo, I think it's just trash talking, right? But I think for Shakur Stevenson, it's something that will fuel him for this fight. So look, I'm here for it. Trash talking is part of boxing.
Say it was the Danza project. You was sitting there doing the interview, and I want to say that's what you said, yeah.
So about like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you said I can't move up.
It was 2 years ago. Change. It's changed.
Okay, so you respect it now?
No, it's not that I respect it. It's just that from what I was going off of was the present moment. I think he was fighting at 30. You feel me?
Yeah.
I was already going up to the 40s. I was already at 40.
Yeah, for sure.
So you see that 10-pound gap. I was thinking I was probably going to move up to 47.
Okay, seeing me, you think I'm smaller in person or like,
ooh,
what do you think?
I know nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing, man.
I saw these two guys sizing each other up. I think Teofimo Lopez was probably thinking Shakur Stevenson was not as big as he would be. Look, we will see who is the bigger man on the night in that ring. And I think Teofimo Lopez was probably going to look more jacked, whereas, Shakur Stevenson is going to look more lean and in shape. They're both going to look in shape anyway, because they're both professional. They both know what they're doing. They're experienced fighters. But I think that, Teofimo Lopez is going to look a little bit more bigger than Shakur Stevenson in this fight. But look, we will see on the night. But it's really interesting that, they're talking about it, because it makes a big difference in such a fight. The weight makes a big difference.
I think that was your angle with Lomachenko. I felt like you knew how little Lomachenko was, and you kind of capitalized off of that.
Heck no, that man was a lot to deal with. Y'all don't understand. The man was number 1.
Yeah,
over
sure.
Canelo, over Crawford, over Inoue.
But you don't think that the size advantage kind of helped you?
Bro, styles make fights, not the size.
I agree with that. I'm with you on that.
Exactly. Styles make fight. I always say this, right? Look, Crawford versus Canelo, for example. Canelo was massive in there. But Crawford's style is just totally a nightmare for someone like Canelo, especially at this age. And so, look, styles makes fight. Teo is right there. And, in this fight, it's about whose style is worse for the other. It's about who can overcome the challenges that the other can bring or will bring to the ring. So it'll be interesting to see, but styles makes fight. Absolutely.
But for the first 6 rounds, he didn't punch.
Because I didn't let him.
You didn't let him punch?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I want to see this magic. Must be magic then, man.
Why have you been waiting for this moment?
A lot of people ain't give us the opportunity to show how great we is. A lot of the fighters, I want to say, either they ducked or found a business way not to get in front of me. And I feel like with him, he kind of gave me the opportunity of a lifetime now. Now it's like, okay, you build your career up all this time. Oh, I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy. And then the moment comes and it's like, damn, it's here. Like, it kind of like turn you up like, okay, let's go get it now. Like,
are you as motivated?
I don't know if, Shakur Stevenson is feeling the way Terence Crawford was feeling a few years ago before he fought the likes of Spence, where he felt like he wasn't getting the opportunities, he wasn't getting the big fights, he wasn't getting the respect. I feel like Shakur Stevenson is being respected in boxing. And if he wins this fight, of course, he will get a lot more respect because Teofimo Lopez is an incredible fighter. He's a really good fighter and he can punch. And, you know, he's an ex-champion. He's a champion. Like, you know, he's everything in boxing. So I feel like Stevenson has a chip on his shoulder, something that is reminiscent of Terence Crawford.
Motivated for this fight as he is?
I'm determined. It's a difference. I'm determined. No motivation. I have all the motivation I need. Got my family. Peoples are good. I'm wealthy, healthy. Health is wealth. Determined for more. Determined for a betterment of my life.
You know, we're just coming off the press conference where it seemed like Teofimo Sr. was doing his best to try to get you to commit to fighting the same way you did against Zepeda.
Truthfully, I fight whatever style to win. Whatever style comes up that I got to win a fight is what I'm going to do. So I'm not worried about anything he's talking about. So I just hope they don't expect that version of me. Expect a better version of me come fight night, for sure.
Teofimo Lopez Sr., Teofimo Lopez's father, you know, is very heavily involved in his career, right? And you could see that he tries to get into the head of his opponents. And, you know, Shakur Stevenson, I think he's a really good fighter, as I've said it before. He's experienced enough to know to adapt. And I don't think he's going to get sucked into, you know, getting into a brawl. Because his strong suit is boxing, right? And Teo can box, but he can fight and he can punch. So Teofimo Lopez need to try and get Shakur Stevenson to fight his fight. And Shakur Stevenson should and must ensure that he doesn't fall into the trap of Teofimo Lopez's father and Teofimo Lopez. So it'll be interesting to see if that mind games works in this fight.
What version of him do you expect?
I expect no version. It's the beauty about boxing. You can't expect any version on the fighter.
Or do you want to see
No.
him fight the way he did against Zepeda?
I want him to do what he believes is his greatest attribute. Do that.
He is statistically the best defensive fighter in boxing. What do you have to do to break that defense?
There's a lot of different ways to do it. And although some may think it's illegal, it's still legal. So it's just all about making sure that I practice it, you know. Bruce Lee meant.
I think what Theo is probably thinking about here is doing everything he can to put off Shakur Stevenson's defensive, you know, sort of genius, right? He whether it is hitting him when he doesn't wants to be hit, whether it's being a bit illegal in there, whether it's putting his head in there, whatever he can do to put Shakur Stevenson off of his game is what he's probably thinking. That's why he said, you know, it must be illegal, but it's legal. You know, he's trying. I think he's going to do everything he can to put him off his game.
He mentions it. Bruce Lee mentions
anything dirty will be reciprocated, brother.
Stylistically, when you see a fighter like him, it is not illegal to do certain punches and throw certain punches or hit certain areas. It is not, as long as it's not below the belt line. Is that true?
Are you saying you're going to hit me in the back of the head? Yeah.
Huh? You can hit behind the head. I mean.
No, I know. There's.
I know Teo is thinking about something. I know he's thinking about doing something. And you know, and that is to put Shakur Stevenson off of his game so he can knock him out. I know that's what he's thinking about.
Rules to it.
Back of the head. You can't hit nobody in the back of the head.
Just saying, like, you know what? January 31st.
He has said he's better than Lomachenko, better than Josh Taylor. Do you believe that?
Absolutely. Let him be what he believes he is. My job is to do what I need to do and become victorious. Defend my stuff. I've done it 3 times, and this is number 4. This is number 4 for the ring. This is number 4 for the WBO. Super. So these are my goals is to defend my throne. It cannot be called the takeover and have someone take it over.
This is obviously a huge fight for you.
Yeah.
Do you see it as a difficult fight? You know, more difficult than Zepeda, more difficult than the title fights you've been involved in?
It's hard to say without being in the ring with somebody. You never know how good somebody actually is until you get in the ring, or how bad they actually is until you get in the ring with them. So come fight night, we'll figure out whether he's better than Zepeda or more of a challenge than Zepeda. I know.
Look, this is going to be a difficult fight for Stevenson. Absolutely, because Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. So he's not going to have it his way. He's going to have to overcome some challenges in that ring. He's going to maybe have to get off the canvas. If he's going to win this fight, right, he's going to have to come behind. He's going to have to take big shots. This is not going to be an easy fight for Stevenson. And I hope he knows that. And I think he knows that because he's experienced enough and he's a great fighter. But this is going to be a difficult fight for both fighters are going to be difficult fight for them. So it's a great question.
I know Zepeda's style.
Don't try me.
Nah, I'm just saying, bro, like, you ain't fight a fighter with that kind of style yet to know, like, whether he's...
So he goes, don't try me. And that is sort of baiting him to fight the way he fought against Zepeda. Like, look, I think Teofimo Lopez can fight this fight in two ways. I think he can box and I think he can brawl. He can fight and he can punch. So I think whichever way he sees fit is how he's going to fight this fight. And it's up to Stevenson to make sure that Teofimo Lopez does not get joy in doing the things that he can do in this fight.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't try me.
You bring a different style to the table, brother.
Teofimo, what are people going to be saying about you after this fight?
People say a lot of things, man. People say whatever they want. I think that's the thing, man. They gave people the so-called control or power of a narrative that would matter, and it doesn't really matter. I don't care what people tell me or what they say after this. I don't care. Just tune in, just watch. That's it. Just tune in, watch, see the fight, and you could go from there. But I can't stop, and I'm just not going.
Look, I think Teofimo Lopez is very, assured of himself. When he faced Josh Taylor, I picked Josh Taylor to win because I thought Josh Taylor would be a bit more cunning, would be too smart, would be too, of a better boxer than Teo. But Teo showed that he's a great boxer as well. So I think Teo is very assured and very confident in what his abilities are and what he can do in the ring. And I think, you can see it in his demeanor, how confident he is. And I think he's going to show something in this fight.
Going to stop at what I'm going for.
Shakur, I'll ask you this. What do you want people saying about you after this fight?
I want people to know I'm the best. That's my main objective. I'm here for the best versus the best. I called on Teofimo for this fight to happen because I wanted to prove myself and prove how great that I am. So come fight night, like I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I come out victorious, but I want to prove how great I am. Like, I want the world to see the greatness within my skill set, the boxer that I am. Like, after we get out the ring, I want everybody to be talking about it. Like, yeah, I'm that good.
Shakur Stevenson has something of Terence Crawford off of him. Is it because he hangs out a lot with Terence Crawford? You could see that, there's a bit of Terence Crawford in Shakur Stevenson, the way he sort of talks and the way he wants to show people how great he is. And like, as I said, it maybe goes back to the comment that I made earlier on in the video when I said maybe he feels as though he doesn't get the respect he deserves. And I think he's also, got a chip on his shoulder that he wants to show in this fight. So, look, this makes for a great fight. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm super excited.
My God.
You're not gonna get that all the time. If you go for people's expectations, if you go for people's expectations on what you're gonna get after that, you're gonna always be disappointed.
I ain't worried about the people. It's the fact that I want to show what level I'm on. You always gotta strive for something, whether it's anything you're gonna strive for. So at the end of the day, when I'm striving for something, I put a goal up there.
That's how
I'm gonna tackle my goal. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. But I'm damn sure giving it 1,010.
Yeah, I mean, you can't always focus on what people think, but you have to set a goal, especially in boxing. Like, you have to feel like you can do this, right? Boxing is 80% mental, 20% physical. So it all starts from the mind, and you could see that both fighters are prepared mentally for this fight. So, Stevenson is saying, look, I want to be the best. And Teo is saying that you don't need to think about what people are saying. You need to do it for yourself. It's interesting to see how both of them think. You know, maybe Stevenson is looking for a bit more, sort of adulation from the public, right? From the boxing fans. And whereas Teo is probably thinking, I don't really care what people think. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to do what I do best. Interesting.
And then 100% to get it. So we're going to see.
You're about to say something there. That's how you know what?
That's just how I know. No. Where we lie.
Okay.
That's how I know where we lie.
Where we lie?
We're so different, bro.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's why you're Southpaw, I'm Orthodox, and that's
exactly. We're not meant to be the same.
Not meant to be the same.
No. But I'm coming to put on the show, bro.
All right, January 31st. Looking forward to it, guys.
Shakur Stevenson said he's coming to put on the show. Teofimo Lopez, I think, is ready for that show. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how both cancel each other in terms of style-wise. Southpaw versus Orthodox, always an interesting fight. That is the end of the reaction for the face-off. Look, I am super excited for this fight. As I said, we're going to do a live watch-along for this fight. So don't forget to put in your calendar, come on the live, and let's chat and watch this fight together. And don't forget to let me know your comments and reaction as well when you saw this face-off. If you haven't seen it, watch it and let me know what you think about it. This is Bright, and this is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. See you on the fight night.